my goal is to really create more of a moment and an experience with the video versus it just dropping and being a video. Like, I kind of want to be able to look back on it as something more than just that.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Soul Serum podcast. I am your Make It Shiggy host, Clay Bonine. I am joined for the first time by my Cooking in the Crockpot co-host, Malcolm. And we are back on the Soul Serum podcast. It's been too long, and you might have noticed we are not in Cincinnati. We are not in the studio right now. We have made the trip south. We are here in Atlanta in an undisclosed location, and I just want to get right into it. We're interviewing today. Today on the show, our guest is one of the most unique videographers in hip-hop. He's been grabbing the attention of the underground for a few years with videos from artists like Tony Shhnow, Lawzy, 10K Duncan, and most recently, Babytron. And I'm also proud to say that this is his first official interview. And today on the show, we have Jelani Miller. Jelani, thank you for coming through. Can we get a clap from the studio audience?
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on, man. How you doing today?
I'm chilling, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
It's an honor to be able to connect.
Yeah.
Soul Serum.
Because I think you and John have been mutuals for like a few years now at this point, right? I feel like you all have been friends online for a while, so I'm glad that we got to come out here. Was this too far out the way for you? Was this
literally down the street? So
okay, all right, I'm dead. Good. So let's start from the beginning, man. I want to get into some of the recent videos, but let's just start from the beginning here. Could you tell me, how did Jelani Miller go from being a high school wrestler to being one of the most unique videographers in hip hop? When did you pick up the camera?
So camera stuff was always like a part of my life, I think. I think like since I was a kid, really. I got like a super cheap digital camcorder. I don't remember how old I was, but I used to skateboard a lot, and I used to like try to film street, even though I didn't really know how to do much. I tried to film like street parts and stuff like that.
Yeah, same.
And yeah, so I always like gravitated towards just like editing and filming and
When did you do any video work pre like music stuff? Because you have videos from like 6 years ago of some underground Atlanta shows like Young Bands and people like that. But what did it start specifically because you wanted to do music videos, or what was your first interest camera wise?
So I took film classes and stuff like that, and at that point I guess it was still more of just a general interest in film, and we were making short films and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty cool. But I also knew that when it came to the actual editing process, that I always did better with like editing to a music track. And I was also really big into like underground music and stuff like that in high school too. And I just kind of melted those things together after I graduated.
Yeah.
And it
was just kind of a natural progression from there.
Pretty much.
Nice. Who was giving you the media pass hookup at those venues back then? Because like,
man,
you have some wild gems in those archive videos.
I got years on you, man.
Yeah.
So my first, literally, like,
was that like I was trying to track your age too. Was that like high school? Like, are you doing these shows in high school? Or
nah? So the shows were really like college. Like when I first was like on campus and just like going out every weekend, going to shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But literally my first time connecting with any artist, like especially an artist that I actually listened to, it was when I went to the Uno show. It was like a Uno the Activist. It was active ATL. I think that was like 2016 or 2017.
Golden year.
The summer. Yeah, it was spot. But real Atlanta like vet. His name is LC Levi. He's connected with like everyone, like all the old Uno, Fani, all that stuff. Like everybody knows him. But that was the first dude I really like connected with, and he just plugged me in like off the rip, and I just kind of was with him and just moving around.
Shout out to LC.
Yeah, LC Levi.
Yeah, shout out LC
That worked
Levi
for
for
him
that.
specifically, or was it just kind of something you wanted to do?
I used to listen to, I was listening to his music heavy at the time, so I was really just excited to be able to work with him in some capacity, but it wasn't always like that. Like, it was kind of just like a thing where if he had something coming up and I could tag along, then he would just hook me up with the accents and I would just roll in and capture whatever's going on.
So moments later, when did you start doing content for you? When did you start creating music videos for you? Like, how did that begin?
Yeah, I did that off rip. I think before I even reached out to anyone or before I even tried to get connected in the scene like that, I wanted to have a brand or something to build off of. And that was just like, it wasn't any reason in particular. I just knew I didn't want to start something and just be making stuff under just my name and that be it. Like, I just wanted to have something. And yeah, I just took literally the first Gmail account I ever made back in like 4th grade. It was momentslater@gmail.com. And I didn't.
It's very profound for a 4th grader.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, I don't.
They don't randomly generate hey moment. That's
Later, gmail.com. And you got that. I can't believe that name wasn't taken too.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, there was a reason behind it, but
this.
Well,
was here.
Well, you know we're gonna ask. What's
yeah, no, it was. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy. It was literally just me, like, because back then, 4th grade, this was before there was like people weren't on social media or like Facebook or anything like that. Like, we were using, like, everyone in the class was using like Gmail chats to like talk to everyone. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I've been there.
yeah, exactly. So it was just a thing where I was like one of the last people to get on that like trend of like doing that, and I was just like, oh, I'm late to this, and I just said moments later. That was literally it. But I liked how I literally like did that, didn't think about it. All the years later, when I actually wanted to do things, I was like, I don't want to make a new email, and my email was clean enough to like repurpose and give it kind of new meaning or whatever. And I just feel like it worked. It stuck, and yeah.
And is that ever a problem when like an artist reaches out to you to do a video and you have the moments later intro in the beginning? Like, has any like A&R or manager given you a note and been like, yo, can we cut this? Like,
No, not really. If that's I don't think that's ever happened.
oh, okay.
I'm worried about that happening in certain like but I've never had to deal with that.
Because it's like even the videos that aren't on your channel, and of course you don't do the little intro on every video, but when it's like that style, like I was thinking about that, like the Babytron video. I was like, damn, I even got the intro in on this.
Fire. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, and I really, especially with those style of videos in particular, I really like don't budge on those kind of things, because I feel like when I'm doing a video in that style, the intro, the whole animation, like everything surrounding that is a part of the experience. So I don't I'm not really trying to compromise on not providing that full thing with those. But nobody's even complained about it. I think they kind of just understand when they work with me, like that's just what it is.
Yeah.
But
So let's dive deeper into that with these like 2000 style videos. We were talking a little bit before we started recording the 106 in Park VH1 type videos. You know what really strikes me about these videos, because like I was thinking about it a lot. I was like, why does this look so much like these videos? I was like trying to really pinpoint it, and it's these small camera movements and these small transitions, like these quick dissolves to black, or like the transitions where like it kind of like chops, like there's something there and not there, and it does that a few times. Like, talk to me a little bit about, like, did you just sit back on YouTube one day and just study videos from 2003 back to back to back to back?
yeah. So I had like a pre-existing understanding of like what it would need to do, or what I would need to do in order to pull it off. And then I took that and just kind of went into it and really just dove back into like some of my favorite songs from back then, or just like things I was aware of, and just like, I studied videos like back to back. I spent a good amount of time really.
Yeah.
paying attention to like small details and like the real like subtle, like the nuances of like what really makes them like what they are.
Just the settings too. I mean, you all that down to a science, like, and that's also what makes you such a perfect marriage. I feel like with Tony Shhnow. Pause. That sounded weird, but you guys work so well together because his music has a fusion of current music, but also very heavily influenced by a similar era. So you two together is just really fun to watch. It's really cool. When I watch your videos, I feel like a little 10-year-old me is watching VH1 or in Park.
That's awesome.
But with new cool music that I love. So it really is an experience.
I appreciate that. That means a lot actually, because that's exactly what I'm trying to like deliver. But
achieved it.
Yeah.
Tony, I mean, like Tony has the, like he did the whole Pharrell like NERD or Neptune's tape where he did like all the flips on that. But he also did the one tape, I'm forgetting the name now, but it's like the Young Jeezy, it's the Thug Motivation, but it's Tony. So like he's obviously somebody who appreciates that era as well. Is that something that you all connected on? Give us just the story. How did you and Tony even come together in the first place?
So me and Tony are from the same city, and I didn't know him in school, but we went to the same school, so I knew of him. And I knew people that were my age going to school that were rapping, and he was a part of a group, the same group as them rapping back then. That was like 2015, 16 or earlier, really. But basically, I guess at a certain point, he started releasing songs that I kind of started to like, because I know he started doing a lot of stuff with Sensei ATL right here, who was like a part of Larry League, and I was listening to Larry League heavy in high school. So once I saw those connections start to get made, I was like, okay, Tony's on something different than what was before, and I reached out to him and was like, yo, let's work on something, and we just locked in. But
shout out to Tanner Mavis, by the way, world's biggest Larry League fan. He's not here with us today, but shout out to Tanner for that. Shout out to the Larry League too.
Oh, mind if I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Did the 2000s start prior to Tony Shhnow working with him, or was he kind of the person who helped ignite that a little bit?
So the way that kind of went was after he made the Billionaire Boys tape, that I think that came out 2019.
I think so, yeah.
Just hearing that, and I guess like, I don't know, I realized how good the songs actually were and how much I like the songs, and I was running that tape back like nonstop. And typically when I like a song, like I already start visualizing it, and that kind of sparked the idea, but I didn't really take it seriously around the time the tape dropped. And I don't know what prompted me to ask him like a whole year and some change later. But when I did, he was just like, yeah, let's do it. And I didn't really have much planned prior to me asking, but I knew that if I could get him to shoot one of these, because another thing is artists, a lot of times, like when they have projects and they keep dropping stuff after that, they're not going to want to revisit a song from a tape they dropped over a year ago. So I didn't even know if it would still work, but he trusted me to do it, and I just felt like I could do it. I didn't really think too much about it, and it just came together the way it needed to.
So that was ATL Freestyle. Yeah, that was the first one.
Yeah, and ATL Freestyle wasn't even the song we were supposed to shoot.
Really?
We got on set. First of all, we almost didn't even shoot the video because a whole bunch of stuff happened. But once we actually got on set, we were actually supposed to be shooting the intro to the tape. The song is called Intro. But Tony started like talking to me like, yo, it's kind of weird to film a video to an intro track. And I was like, okay, whatever. And I was trying to like argue him down and try to, because I really had like a specific vision for the intro.
Yeah.
Then we just started like playing through the tape. He was like, yo, let's do ATL Freestyle. And I was just like, fuck it, we're just gonna do ATL Freestyle.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna suck a little bit, but it's cool because it gave me work.
I just kind of typically stuff like that always suck, but I was working on stuff like this. Like I was really at the time working on being a lot more fluent with stuff like that and just kind of going with the flow a little bit.
Flexible.
Yeah, so I didn't let it didn't really bother me. It was just kind of like, all right, we're just going to pivot and do this and see what happens.
Yeah.
It wasn't that big of a deal. It was just like an interesting thing because I had no intention on filming that song at all. And
Yeah.
I feel like ultimately that was the right song to pick. So,
And he was wearing the MLK Hawks jersey.
yeah.
Too. It's all
It was hard.
I feel like he thought about that when he put the jersey on that day. He was like,
Yeah.
we about to shoot ATL Freestyle.
I was super adamant about wardrobe and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Even like you said, the location and all that stuff earlier. Like, but yeah.
What is I want to talk to you a little bit about like the brainstorming, the pre-production element to some of this, like, because I know with Soul Serum, when we decide to shoot with an artist, like, we generally get like a few songs and we try to choose the song that we like the most and that we would put on our playlist. Is that ever like in play for you, or is it very much whatever an artist hands you, you're like, cool, I'll take it and we'll work with it?
Yeah, so that's kind of a big thing for me. I don't really like to shoot things that I don't like listening to.
Right.
I've had to do it before, but yeah, that's kind of it's just really because if I'm editing a song I don't like, first of all, when you're editing a song, you're listening to it probably 1,000 times before you're actually done with the video.
Yes.
It's just miserable. So
Yeah.
I really try to make sure, and I feel like I'm just able to like be more creative and deliver a lot more, a lot better product at the end of the day when it's something I'm actually like excited to get working on. So
Yeah.
For sure.
What is your like pre-production? Like, do you put together a deck? Do you scribble on a piece of paper? Like, what's your process like?
It varies a lot of times. I don't always do a full treatment or a deck or anything like that. A lot of times it's just kind of like brainstorming and taking note of key ideas. Maybe I'll type it out in my notes app or something like that. And just kind of have all the pieces there so I can put them together in a somewhat organized way.
Yeah.
But I will say the times that I do write out a full treatment and kind of plan it shot by shot, that always turns out to be a lot easier of a process. So I think it's more so like a time thing. Like a lot of times it's just like artists want to shoot and it's kind of last minute or we don't really have time to do all the planning. So
Yeah.
I kind of just roll with it. But I definitely enjoy being able to actually plan things in depth when I have time to. I think it helps a lot.
As your careers moved forward, is that something that artists are more willing to do with you now that they see your skills and they're more willing to put in a couple more hours rather than just have you pull up out of nowhere? Or does it become the opposite? The bigger artists you get a hold of, the more they're kind of like, I got other stuff to do. Like, what's that like?
I think when it was kind of I think the early stages of me shooting before I was like really had what I would consider like my own kind of style or identity in this stuff. I was just kind of hungry and like just trying to shoot whatever. So those are the cases where it was a lot of just like, yo, pull up in 2 hours and shoot. But
Who hasn't been there, by the way, with an artist or with a music video?
Yeah, but honestly, that doesn't really happen often with me now. I feel like pretty much everyone I've been able to work with in recent years has been like pretty open to me actually coming with a very, I guess, some sort of concept, structured vision. Yeah, but my vision really is like I try to like, when I do a video with an artist, my goal is to kind of create something that their fan base or, you know, anyone that's aware of them wouldn't necessarily expect to see from them. And I feel like the times I've done that, that's kind of ended up like I feel like my goal is to really create more of a moment and an experience with the video versus it just dropping and being a video. Like I kind of want to be able to look back on it as something more than just that. But yeah.
Just another one of their videos.
Yeah, exactly.
You do that well.
And I feel like one video that we have to talk about that did that very well is Off the Map.
I was just gonna
SoFaygo, right? Like, as you were saying that, I was like, damn, this sounds like the Off the Map video, actually.
Same thing.
So talk to us a little bit, because I know you have a few SoFaygo videos, right? Two or three SoFaygo videos. A fellow Atlanta resident, like, what was connecting with Faygo like? And also, when you heard Off the Map, did you know that it was the one?
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I can talk a lot about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, please.
Okay. So, well, Faygo reached out to me because he saw a Tony Shhnow video I did. It was TikTok.
Some real Atlanta shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was aware of Faygo's music, but I had honestly never really tapped in at that point. This is like, I think early 2020. Yeah. But once he reached out and I really dove deep into like his stuff, I was like, yeah, this guy's crazy. And I knew he was going to go crazy based off the songs I was listening to. I think like the first three I was like running on repeat was Money Mitch or Mitchie or whatever it's called. You might have to cut that out. I don't know.
All good.
It's like not a song is at all.
Yeah, no, it is, but I'm not really that good with song titles. But yeah, basically I was tapped into his music off rip and we shot those first two videos. But after we shot Gear 2, which was the second video I did for him, it was kind of thing where I felt like I had to rush through it, so I wasn't really proud of what I produced with it. And I feel like you can see that in the video. Like, there's a lot of moments where it's like not much going on, but basically that was the first time where, because at this point Faygo has like a lot more eyes kind of watching his stuff,
And I did too.
yeah, and I started getting like negative feedback on that video. Like, it wasn't. So the reception of Gear 2 itself was cool, but then he dropped a video after that, and it was like completely filled with VFX like throughout the entire vid. And then it was just people like, oh, this is how you do a real video, or it's like, bro, I'm not gonna lie, I was looking at the comments and stuff, and it didn't really bother me like that, but it was just like, yeah, I mean, I already felt this way about the video too. But basically when Faygo sent me the snippet to Off the Map, I knew like, okay, I'm just gonna go crazy on this.
Yeah.
That's literally like, I went into it thinking that, and that's kind of, yeah, I feel like just like I channeled what I got from Gear 2 and how it was received into making sure I deliver it on the next one. But
It says shit about that though.
yeah, exactly.
Fuck, I was only praise.
Yeah, so
I actually have a question about Off the Map's music video. You mentioned before how you're very distinctive wardrobe with Tony Shhnow, which makes sense because you're trying to match a certain vibe for an era. With Off the Map, was it your idea to put him in that like terrifying makeup?
no, it wasn't. So
How did you feel about that? Like what the fuck is this?
okay, so first off, pretty much everything with Off the Map was pretty unplanned.
Wow.
He told me that we were going to a white backdrop studio, and that's all I knew. So I showed up, like, we didn't even know there was going to be a map hanging on the wall or anything like that. Like, that was just pure coincidence. His girlfriend was there, and she did the makeup, I think, and I didn't even know that was happening. It was like the middle of the video shoot, probably like an hour in. He was like, yo, I'm going to run to the bathroom. I got some like makeup stuff I'm going to do. And I was like, okay. He ducks off for like 30, 40 minutes maybe and pops back out, and he's wearing that. And we just roll with it.
Definitely made it interesting.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So it was cool. I fought with it. I think it turned out the way it needed to. So it was a pretty iconic look.
Showing up to the studio and there being a map on the wall feels like some divine timing type shit right there.
Yeah. It was crazy. Yeah. Because I almost didn't even make it, dude. Because that same night, I'll never forget it. Like, the streets were flooding so crazy. Like, I'm talking about, like, cars, like, flooded to the point where they're shutting down in the middle of the road. Like, I don't even know how I made it there, honestly. Like,
Damn, wait, you drove through the weather?
Yeah, dude. Like,
Shit.
like I really don't know how because my car sits low, so I have no idea how I made it through all that. But
Damn.
got there. Yeah, it was cool though.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Shout out the power of SoFaygo and the universe.
Yeah.
For making that one happen. Have you do you keep contact with Faygo? Like, I mean, that video was 2 years ago, 2-ish, 3 years ago. Like,
So honestly, I don't really connect with him that frequently at this point. Like, I ran into him a bunch of times, like, after. It's chill, like, we speak and stuff like that.
of course, yeah.
Trying to like some promo stuff with him. But yeah, he's cool. Like, if I message or whatever, like, it's cool.
Yeah.
But we don't like talk every day or anything like that. I really just haven't. Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things.
For sure.
Crazy.
Do you ever, one thing that we've, for one video in particular that we've done, and this is, I'm speaking for John a little bit here, but we had like so much back and forth with this label, with notes and with ideas and having to send them all this footage, this and that. But then like we kind of work with more independent artists, and obviously it's just like us and the artist, and that's it. Do you ever like encounter that struggle? Do you ever like get pushback from labels, from managers, things like that? And if so, how do you navigate those situations?
Yeah, I do. Happened with the, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's bad to say it, but it happened.
You don't have to name the person. You don't have.
I don't want. Yeah. So it's tough for me initially because I feel like I'm so passionate about my work that I'm kind of not as, I don't know. I kind of just like take those types of things to heart a little bit more than I should. But like I'm aware of the fact that it's just like
It's a part of it.
yeah.
Part of the business.
And a lot of times when people have feedback on stuff, it ends up being changes that are ultimately like for the betterment of the video that I wouldn't have seen myself. So I'm still open to it. I don't really try to fight it too much, but it's just like a thing that I have to deal with internally when I get the initial message of like, yo, take this out or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can be a headache at times just when it's like constant, like back and forth. It's like, okay, I did this and it's more. Yeah.
Once you're on like V6 or V7, you're like, all right, man, come on.
Exactly.
Come on. Like, y'all hired me for a reason. And I feel like especially with you too, because you have a unique style, like, and not just the 2000s videos, but like your style in general. I think you are very unique in this space. So like, it's almost like, yo, y'all came to me for a reason. And now I'm on version 8 of this video. Like,
and it's like, by the time you get to that point, it's kind of like, well, we came this far and I already did the full edit.
yeah.
So I'm going to go through with it anyway, but
Yeah.
Definitely had some battles, like some videos that are some of my favorites that almost just didn't come out at all because just like little stuff like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of my favorite videos just didn't come out, but yeah.
What are some of your favorites of your own, your personal favorites? You don't have to give me a like your number one definitive one, but
Yeah, so
somebody's like, what do you do? And you were like, here, I'll show you. Like, what video would you pick, you think?
that's a harder question to answer. Because I really like the video. I think my Homicide Gang video is like one of my best, like normal, like
Which word?
the first one I did, the lifestyle.
Yeah.
I think that's one of my like best clean like edit. That's not just like 2000s based. I really like the way that turned out. But recently, or not even that recently, but I think my overall like favorite video that I keep coming back to and like actually watching is it's a video with Mises, Cool Bitches is what it's called. It's like a the rock band type.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like, I don't know. I just love that video.
Yeah, I like
Go to it.
Yeah.
whoever is playing bass in that video was fucking on point. They were fucking slapping that bass.
Yeah.
Stupid question, actually, just about cool bitches, which it's dumb.
Okay.
Were they actually playing the instruments?
Yeah. So
They were.
I didn't put.
I'm telling you, dude, whoever was playing that bass was on point. They were really running the bass.
Sure, but there was like some sounds in the mix. I was like,
Yeah, like on
playing.
I put some sounds in the intro of the video too from them actually playing, but I was gonna put it at the end of the YouTube video, but on socials and stuff, I posted like a live rendition of the song that was recorded too.
Dope.
But yeah, I thought that was like a key point because I just knew if I was gonna go into like making a band video and I wanted to have them actually playing.
Yeah.
It's just just so it looks right.
When you see, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of those people that looks for that shit too.
Yeah,
Well, I'm like, is this drummer on point? Is he really hitting these snares on the right?
That was the sounds, and it's because you mix the live. You just said you mixed the live in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Confused the shit out of me in a good way. Like it really. I was sitting there, was seeing if they were really playing, and it was just good. It was a mesmerizing part of the video. So
Appreciate that. Yeah.
you really do care a lot about, like, it's very
Good details.
very evident how much you like attention to detail.
Yeah, that's a big thing for me actually. Like
Difference between what makes people good and great, in my opinion. So you definitely got that down.
I appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, it's going frame by frame, staring at a 12 frame sequence for fucking 6 hours.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god.
I am kind of a perfectionist with that stuff, which is not always a good thing, but it gets the job done, I guess. It's helped more than it's hurt me, so yeah.
Definitely.
It's a hard balance.
Well, what advice would you give to like some young aspiring videographers? You know, I feel like you're a good inspiration for kids looking to get into videography, especially in music. And I'm just curious, what have you learned? You know, if you had to give some like old grandpa wisdom to a young videographer.
Honestly, I know it's going to be different for everyone, but I feel like one of the most important things you can do as someone starting out, or just in general really, is to try to create things based on like your actual interest. Like I don't know, try to incorporate things that you like, even out. So okay, say in the case that you're making music videos, you want to get into music videos, if you have interest outside of the realm of that you care a lot about, see what kind of creative ways you can incorporate that into your work or things like that. Like, I just feel like when you're driven by that kind of passion with things kind of fall into place in a way that's more unique to you and just easier in general. But yeah, that, and to just like literally just create stuff. A lot of people focus so much on, I don't have the right equipment, or I want to get, I don't know. I just know because people have come to me before like asking about things, and a lot of times it's really just like you literally just have to go out and just start filming stuff.
Yeah. I feel like that's like along the lines of like the Cole Bennett iPhone series.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, he started kind of with just a DSLR in his hand and then goes on this crazy arc of like real deal cinematography, real film cameras, and then to come back to the iPhone just to almost show everybody like, look, it's like this is how I started, and you can still make high quality videos like that.
Yeah.
Like I loved that concept. Do you try to keep that like mentality when you're doing videos? Like, do you try to not get too crazy or too outside of your realm, just like keep it in your lane, or do you like to take the risk?
That is a good question. Yeah, I feel like I take risks with my stuff all the time. In terms of, are you saying like more so in terms of like the concepts, or just kind of like?
I think I was saying more in like the production sense, like because you know sometimes you'll have like a run and gun video shoot like what you're talking about, and it's just you and an artist, or are you like hiring somebody to help you with lights? Do you have a stylist? Like, do you?
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. So for the majority of my career, it's just been like me, solo operation stuff. There have been instances where I hired like a makeup artist or people to do lighting and stuff like that, but that hasn't been the norm. But yeah.
But what about conceptually though? Because I feel like that kind of like sparked something for you right there. You feel like you take risks conceptually with your music videos?
I feel like I take risk in a sense that I am going out of my way to try things that I haven't done before and that I haven't seen other people do. But for me, I don't know if it feels that much like an actual risk to me personally, because it's just more so what I want to do. It's just the direction I want to go. So it just feels like, what else would I do in this? Like, this is just what I want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Trusting that voice, trusting that inner thought right there.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
With you being so passionate as you clearly are, we mentioned it before we even started rolling that it has been just you. You just said it now. Do you think maybe because you're so passionate and very particular about it, it would prevent you from actually building a team around yourself?
Oh, that's 100% why. Yeah, and I don't think that's necessarily a good thing either. Because what it really is like, I'm just so particular about the look I want and the things I want and how, I want it to turn out a certain way. So I want to have full control and hands on. But I know I can't do that forever. Oh, I mean, I guess you could, but I don't want to do that forever. Like, I think there's such I think being able to work with a team of people to create something amazing is also just like such a beautiful thing in itself. And I feel like I wouldn't be doing myself justice not branching out into that realm of things more.
Yeah.
And I think it's also an important skill to have, is like being able to work with that many people. So I do want to get more into that. But yeah, that's definitely why. Like, I just have been kind of not as, open to letting go of the reins a bit on some projects. But
it's like, how do you hand your baby over to somebody else?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
exactly.
Like, I know that you're skilled with what you do, but like, this is my baby now. Like, how can I give this to you? Like,
yeah,
I feel that way with the podcast a little bit, because it's like, yeah, of course, I would love to have an editor and love to have somebody to cut this and that, but like, I've done it the whole time.
No one's gonna.
And I know a certain way to do it, and I have a flow, and it's like, how could I ever give that to somebody? So like, I definitely feel that.
I think a similar concept applies to music as well. It's something that I always recognize within pretty much every artist is something that takes people to the next level, is allowing other people to handle their art, but they're still, governing that. I mean, one of the most famous people you can draw back to is Kanye West. I think he is so great, or, it's controversial, but his music.
No, he's great.
It's so amazing.
Look, this is a pro Kanye podcast.
Okay.
You don't have to tiptoe around it, man. Kanye is
his
great.
music is so incredible because he gets the best people, the newest people too, all the time, constantly. And you have this weird thing where you have all these other things checked that most people wouldn't get until they go with a group. And then maybe the only thing left for you to check is to build that team. To be able to make more, more of your own videos. And that must be a hard thing. But you mentioned earlier that when you had to go on to V8, it sucked, and you wouldn't have done some of those things, but ended up making the better videos. It'd be cool. It'd be cool to see the future of Moments Later when there is a team surrounding it. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's definitely a big goal. And I feel the exact same way about all that stuff. Like, that's kind of where I feel like I need to go eventually. Thankfully, like, I'm connected with a lot of people that are willing to just be a part of things and help if I kind of, ask.
For you direct.
So I'm thankful that I have like that as an option, but in terms of like building like an actual set in stone team, that's going to be something to work towards.
What is the last, we'll start wrapping up here, but what does the next 12 months look like for Jelani Miller? What do you have in the pipeline? What are you looking forward to?
Okay. Working on a lot of cool videos. Some pretty much done. I'm running back the band with Nieces pretty soon. Like,
Okay.
in the next week or so, I think.
Okay.
Wow.
So I'm excited for that because we have a lot of ways we're gonna elevate that. But yeah, that, and I'm really focused on world building for Moments Later.
Whoa.
And I have some like things in the works in terms of like, I guess, a rollout for it. But yeah, I'm really just gonna focus more on like creating something that people can feel like they get more invested in or more involved with, in terms of like, I want it to be more than just my music videos and that style being the only thing tying you to Moments Later. Like, I want it to feel like more of its own thing.
To the universe.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that include, and I don't, if you don't have to reveal anything, but I have to ask though, like, is that more like creating different kinds of content? Is that creating like merchandise or pieces to go with it? Like, what does that look like, the world building for Moments Later?
Yeah, there's definitely aspects of that involved in the plan, I guess. But I mean, yeah, pretty much, yeah. That and some other stuff.
Okay. All right. We don't need details because we'll be watching.
Yeah,
We'll be watching it for sure. Well, Malcolm, do you have anything else that you want to
I
ask?
honestly have a lot more questions, but he said we're wrapping up. So
Well, I mean,
gonna go-
we gotta like get one more good question in. I don't want
I
to.
want to hit you with some.
We're not going an hour and a half on this.
Oh wow, we've been going for a while now. All right. So, I mean, one of your bigger videos recently was the Skywater Miles music video, which went insane. I'm sure you probably didn't even think it would go that crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have these moments off the map. You just did, I think, Slow Mo for Baby Tron. You had these huge music videos, a lot of them for other clients. Is there a method to that they reach out to you? Or you mentioned a little bit about it before, but you must have a really good ear. Like, if you don't want to do videography anymore, you should think about being an A&R or something, because I think a big part of Moments Later, like you said, is doing things that you enjoy, doing the music that you enjoy, or videos to that at least. So you have a good ear. A lot of these channels will shoot anything, like you said, they'll bite,
Yeah.
they'll bite at any opportunity, but you really have curated a channel that I can just play the music videos and not even have to watch them and enjoy the music too.
Appreciate that. Music in general is something I'm super passionate about, and that's just like, I explore all different types of things like that to kind of develop that. But yeah, for those videos specifically, like, I didn't actually reach out to Sky or Babytron. Skywater, we kind of connected back. It was definitely during the pandemic, but
That like was that studio apartment music video with Popstar Benny in it and shit?
no, so that was, we filmed
That's a good cameo too. That was a great cameo.
That was super cool.
He's like,
Yeah, it was so chill.
he's like my favorite Twitter follow on the Soul Serum Twitter.
Yeah.
Like Popstar Betty, he's got a great Twitter.
Yeah.
Shout out Popstar Betty if you're watching.
super genuine dude. He's like he's gonna be he's a legend to me, but people are gonna really know he's a legend out here for real.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we filmed that like a week after Miles.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure which one came first.
But yeah, it was really just like on some chill shit. Like, Sky reached out to me on Instagram or something, and he was just like supporting me like with my stuff. He was like, he said something along the lines of like, oh, you got the vision, they don't see you yet, or something like that. Like, that sounds kind of corny saying it.
Encouragement.
Yeah, but it was like, it was like some uplifting stuff, and I was like, cool, you're tapped in. I appreciate that. Like, that's fire. And even then, like, we didn't really have plans to shoot, but over the months we were just kind of staying in contact in that way, because he was still out in the UK.
Yeah.
And but once I got word that Sky was coming out here, and he reached out and kind of just planned something and got it done.
So was that the was that song already kind of going up on TikTok when you all filmed the video, or was it okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to figure out the timeline of that.
Yeah, because so that was his idea too. Like Miles was really more of like the quick throwaway kind of. I don't want to say throwaway because we put we put planning into it.
Right.
It was more like
It was kind of based on like the 360 camera. It was kind of based on a tool, rather than like a story per se.
Yeah, so it was like because he gave me Miles and Eyes at the same time, and he said, "Let's do this idea I have for Miles real quick, just so I can get that out, and then while we have that being, you know, prepped and ready to drop, I'm gonna give you like full control to do like really what you want to do with the Eyes video." So kind of knock that out so we could focus on like the full like concept for Eyes, and it just kind of worked out like that.
Damn.
Yeah.
Tight. Okay, actually, I have one more question that I didn't ask that I do want to know. Who is on your wish list to work with?
Okay.
And you can go as grand as you want. It doesn't even have to be somebody that you think like, oh yeah, I can definitely do this.
Or dad. No, I'm just kidding. Don't give us this person. It doesn't make sense.
I wrote a video with Brent Fires.
Ooh.
I think that would be cool.
Such a good. You would do such a good.
The Moments Later Brent Fayez video would be hard.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. And there's like a lot of like, honestly, there's a lot of I guess underground artists that I would like to work with. But yeah, I guess that's like kind of a big one.
Yeah.
But yeah, trying to get something in with some more local people. I don't know. I don't really want to name people out like that for real, to be honest.
Fair enough. It's all good.
It might happen sooner than
Yeah. Hey, play your cards close, man. Play your cards close. You ain't got to say it on here. Is there anything else that you want to say that you want to get off your chest before we get out of here? You got any crazy hot takes? Any sports takes? Any?
Damn. No, I'm not gonna say that. Okay.
What? You
thought about something there.
I'm just gonna say thanks for having me on. It's an honor.
Thank you for coming on, man.
I don't usually do stuff like this, so it's pretty cool to do something like this and knock it out. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
When I Googled your name, the only stuff that would come up other than you is there's an assistant principal named Jelani Miller, and there's an attorney at law named Jelani Miller. And I was like, this is not the Jelani Miller that I'm looking for right here.
For a second, I thought you were just a lawyer and a music video director. That'd be crazy. Like
that's a crazy double bag. That's a crazy double
mistake. Like he can not only film your music video, but he can help you beat the case too.
Get you off the case.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you everybody for listening. We are back on the fucking Soul Serum podcast. I'm so happy to be back here. As always, you can follow us on Instagram at Soul Serum, at Soul Serum TV. Follow us on Twitter at Soul Serum. Subscribe to the YouTube, the main page, the TV page. Fucking TikTok banned our fucking Soul Serum TV page, so you'll have to follow something else. I'll put a fucking graphic right here of it. And then Jelani, where can they find you at on the internet?
All my ads are at Jelani J Miller, and that's pretty much it. Or you can just
Google the man. Google the man. Thank you everybody as always for listening. I, as always, am your host, Clay Bonin.
I am Malcolm from Letmeputchuon, actually.
And Jelani.
Yes, sir. We'll see y'all next week. Deuces.